So much of the current strategy surrounding lockdown and social distancing kind of assumes that we're going to have a COVID vaccine ready very soon. What will it be? 12, 18 months? I generally like to be an optimist and I hate to be a Debbie Downer on this, but this expectation is at best unrealistic and at worst somewhat misleading. As pharmaceutical companies across the world race to be the first to market a new COVID vaccine and expedite clinical trials, not enough people have looked ahead and thought realistically about how this will all pan out. So let me paint a scenario for you. So a vaccine comes out that shows a lot of promise. It passes through the expedited clinical trials, starts to be administered. Within a few days, we start to hear the inevitable stories about people who are claiming to have had reactions to the vaccine, maybe even serious side effects, medical syndromes. This being the age of the internet and social media, these stories spread like wildfire online. Everybody hears about them. Naturally, of course, we're hearing about the few cases where difficulties are reported, but not the thousands of people who've had no issues at all. People get scared, lawsuits start to be filed, and many people say they don't want a vaccine so soon after it's been released. Are we going to just mandate that everybody has the vaccine, or are we going to accept that people have individual choice like other vaccines? And if people do have choice and there's a large percentage of the population that isn't getting vaccinated, then doesn't that defeat the whole point of a vaccine for coronavirus, because so many people will be acting like vectors and spreading the virus? And then there's the question of, even if we have a vaccine which shows so much promise, how effective will it be? A reminder, millions of people get the flu vaccine every year and still go on to get the flu. That's because viruses mutate and new strains arise all the time. And finally, while we wait for a coronavirus vaccine, which may or may not come over the next year or two, let's not forget about all of the other terrible chronic conditions out there which may kill people first. The medical community has rightly been focused on COVID over the last few weeks, but we have to get back to treating all of those other conditions. Research is showing that the rates of other ailments presenting to emergency rooms and hospitals over the last few weeks has dramatically plummeted. Do we think that that's because people are suddenly healthier? Heart attacks, strokes, all dramatically declined. Either these are festering at home, or worse still, people are dying at home. Then there's the fact that people in lockdown tend to not eat very healthy. Junk food, snacking, add to that being much more sedentary than they were before. These are ticking time bombs. Obesity, diabetes rates are going to go through the roof. And then what about depression? As people sit around at home, job losses mount up, those rates will soar as well. Try getting a vaccine for all of those things. So while we may pin our hopes on many things post-COVID coronavirus crisis, a vaccine for COVID shouldn't be one of them.